did an incredible job. And I'm getting a lot of credit because that's really my first so-called choice. That was my first hire, as we would say in Las Vegas. And I'll tell you, he's a good one. He was phenomenal. He was cool. He was smart.
All right, Donald Trump talking up his running mate, Governor Mike Pence, and arguably a very good performance last night in that VP debate. Former Republican presidential candidate Herman Cain on whether that puts renewed pressure on Donald Trump for his next debate. What do you think, Herman? Good to see you.
Thank you, my brother of truth, as I would call you, because there's a lot of lies out there. Look, I believe that Mike Pence's performance in that exchange last night helped Donald Trump because, as Donald Trump pointed out in that clip that you played, it was his first hire, and it has turned out to be excellent. Secondly, I believe that Trump, with all due respect, can learn some things from Mike Pence in terms of how he handled that exchange last night. Mike was poised, professional, and polite. And on the other hand, you had Tim, K-A-I-N-E, I don't want to say his name because it's too much like mine. He was engaged in an assault of insults. And I believe that the American people saw the stark difference between the two. Those are the calls that I got all day on my radio show.
You know, a lot of people were trying to look for Reagan-like moments and saying of Governor Pence that he had at least one when he says, there they go again, about some broadside attacks. But you mentioned what Donald Trump could learn from Governor Pence. What specifically for the next debate?
Specifically, if Donald Trump pivots to the substance like Pence did, I think that would do him well. Don't get caught up and don't get baited for all of the insults and things of that nature. That's what I think Pence did a great job of in terms of what he did last night.
In other words, let it just roll off. If it's going to be even personal criticism, just let it roll off.
Let it roll off and pivot to the substance of the topic that the moderator brings up, because you can't control the moderator, but you can control the substance you present on whatever it is that they brought up. So I think that he can learn from that aspect of what Pence did last night.